and they win the NFC South.
What's good, everybody? Let's talk some Tampa sports. Mandatory OTAs are here. Everyone is present, everyone has arrived, and everyone is ready to go. That's all you can ask for at this point in the year. Pads are coming on soon. Who are the top 5 guys that I'm most looking forward to watching throughout these mandatory OTAs going into training camp? From the very beginning, this list obviously could change as we hear things, as things move around, pieces here and there, scheme changes, or whatever it could possibly be. This is the list. Just a forewarning, at my job I'm giving this training presentation that lasts pretty much all day, so I've been talking a lot. So my voice will crack and be raspy, and it is what it is. I want to get a video out, and that requires more talking, so here we are. First up on the list, it's the guy that some people had concerns about because he wasn't at the voluntary OTAs and because of recent history. You're like, maybe it rubbed you the wrong way. A lot of us, myself included, did not really have any concerns. I trust what Jason Light has been saying, where he is here to prove people wrong. He is here to prove people that he is still one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL. And I am, of course, talking about Hassan Ridgeway. Here in Tampa, ready to go for mandatory OTAs. No drama, no breaking news that we need to, throw our hands up about. He's ready to go to prove people wrong. So, obviously, biggest free agent pickup of the offseason. That I feel puts him in this list for me, and it's at a position of need, a pass rusher. Our pass rush just has to get better, and when you bring in a guy and pay him what you did on a 1-year prove-it deal, and the history that he has, 16 sacks, 11 sacks, 12 and a half sacks, couple of Pro Bowls, 1 second-team All-Pro, 1 top 5 vote getter and defensive player of the year, how can you not be excited for this? And the potential that he can bring, still being in that prime of his career at 30 years old. How can you not be excited for this? Opposite of Yaya, with Vita and Kancey in between. Come on. How can this not be on the list? Obviously, we're not all going to agree with my list, and that's perfectly fine. These are the guys I'm most looking forward to. You will probably have different guys, and please drop them down below, because there's a ton of guys that I would like to put on this list, but I'm only picking 5 for the sake of time. I do think this is going to be a good year for Hassan Ridgeway. I do think he's going to, extremely raise that production back to what it was at one point, that double-digit sack guy, and I think his production will only open things up for Yaya and others. I mean, this is a huge get for the Bucs. I said that when they signed him, and I still stand by that, and I cannot wait to see what he does in practice, because I hear he is kind of, what's the word? Kind of an a-hole, in a good way, though. It's something we've been saying as fans, we need that JPP. Where's our Ndamukong Suh? He's kind of that. He has that attitude. He has that, I'm going to come at you. I'm going to get at you. It doesn't matter if it's practice, game. He's here for that, and something we've needed. Next up, same position, David Walker. So, a guy that, again, Jason Light, small school, that underrated guy that kind of may go over some people's heads. Central Arkansas, doesn't have that typical build, 6'1", 260, but all of his pass rush moves are very natural. It looks good. It looks right. It looks how it should be, and above what you would expect from a rookie in terms of pass rush moves, technique, things like that. Is his height and weight your, prototypical edge rusher? No, it's not that 6'4", 260. He's a little bit smaller. He's a little bit top heavy, but he can work that into his advantage, being a little bit unorthodox while still having good technique. So for now, he's going to be looked at as this depth piece until proven otherwise, and what he shows in OTAs and training camp and preseason. But he's a sleeper, and I don't think Bucs fans are sleeping on him, but I think a lot of the league could be sleeping on him. And with that Todd Bowles hockey rotation of Hassan and Yaya, you're out David Walker and Anthony Nelson, whoever you're in. I like this a lot more than Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. I can promise you that. Once again, position of need. We knew going into the draft, for the last few years now, edge rusher, edge rusher, edge rusher. And the front office clearly saw it too, making an edge rusher their top free agency pickup. And on top of that, getting one in the draft. So David Walker makes that top 5 for me. Next up, a guy that is not new to this team, that is Cervasio Dennis. I'm already hearing very good things. Tons of good news, he's making plays. He looks great. He looks ready to go. He looks ready to be a starter for this Bucs defense, and looks to be, based on their word, that he can be a linebacker of the future. And if you watch this channel, you know I believe all of those things, despite how little we've really been able to see him on the field throughout his first 2 seasons. His first year was really just a backup and did not see the field much. And then last year, injured early in the season, out for the year. And we saw how much that changed things defensively in the middle of the field. Now we get Cervasio Dennis. He's had that long break. He's been able to fully recover, fully ready to go. Delve into that Todd Bowles playbook, which we know how extensive that is. And here we are. 2025 Cervasio Dennis. What are we going to get? Once again, if you watch this channel, you know how much I have faith in him, talent-wise, just getting past those injuries. That's really all it is. That shoulder injury, I don't think it's something that's going to be lingering or holding him back. I think he's ready to go full throttle, and I expect a ton of plays from Cervasio Dennis this season. You're probably already catching a theme. Defense, defense, defense. Yeah, it's all going to be defense just based on how last year went. Yes, I'm excited to see how Igbokwe looks, but I'm confident in it. I'm expecting him to just be out the gate a good football player, and I have no doubt about that. I'm excited to see what plays he makes and how he can assist Chris Godwin with his time frame of coming back, with whatever that may be. I'm excited to see what Tez Johnson can bring and how they, use him as a weapon on this team. But in terms of where this team needs improvement, it's really not at receiver. That's probably the most depth-filled position we currently have. It's on that defense. So, continuing, the next guy, we're going with Benjamin Morrison. Very young. Just 21 years old. And I think that's going to be something we all need to remember throughout the season. This guy is just 21 years old. Prototypical guy. 6 foot, 190 plus. And it's what you want a cornerback to look like. But the experience, I'm going to give him some grace. I'm going to give him some patience. I'm not expecting him to be this fantastic guy right out of the gate as a rookie 21-year-old. I don't know if he'll even start out of the gate. They seem to still have confidence in Jamel Dean, and they've already been saying really good things about Zion McCollum, saying he's the best he's ever looked, which, based on his improvement since he came into the league, where you think back to when he was a rookie, he couldn't cover anybody, he couldn't tackle anybody. Another year where he's kind of jumping in for Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean when they get injured, he looks solid. And then last year, he had some really good stretches, and then some games where I was like, I'd like to see a little bit more consistency. This year, I think Zion can be that, but opposite him. What does Jamel Dean look like? Does Benjamin Morrison push Jamel Dean to be better? Or does Benjamin Morrison overtake him? These are all things I want to see battle out throughout mandatory OTAs, training camp, and preseason. Benjamin Morrison is going to push Jamel Dean. We can all agree with that. He is going to push him for that starting job. I think the talent, the prototypical, technique, Benjamin Morrison has it. He has it. Jamel Dean, does he still have it? I don't know. Based on last year, I cannot say, yes, Jamel Dean, he's got this. I can't. Benjamin Morrison, I'm excited to see him really build a competition there at outside corner. I am. And the last guy, I'm kind of switching it up here. This is a guy we know already just after his first season is a good football player. We know he is a good football player. We've seen it, and it's been proven based on his play in just one season. Now, what makes it interesting is a position change. The Bucs draft Jacob Parrish to take over that nickel spot and compete with Christian Izien, and now They don't do anything at safety outside of undrafted free agents and J.J. Roberts, Shiloh Sanders. It kind of moves a guy that we know is already a good football player next to Antoine Winfield Jr. How is that going to look? Of course, Tyke Smith. Last year, 13 games, 2 interceptions, 54 tackles, just all over the field. And I think a guy that we were all extremely satisfied with his play in his rookie season at that nickel position. But how does he look in his first year at the pro level at the safety position? How does that make Antoine Winfield Jr. look? Because there were times Antoine Winfield Jr. last year dealing with injury, things like that. It was really the first year I saw Antoine Winfield Jr. get beat in coverage multiple times throughout a season. And with Jordan Whitehead and then him going down and multiple guys having to fill in that position, it was a very shaky year for Antoine Winfield Jr. after that massive contract that he was given. I have no doubts that Antoine Winfield Jr. will bounce back, but I want to see him bounce back to that level that he was before that contract with a guy like Tyke Smith next to him. How does that look? How long does it take for that pairing, that communication to be where it needs to be one of the premier safety duos in the league? Because I think talent-wise, Antoine Winfield Jr. and Tyke Smith, talent-wise, can easily be a top 5 safety duo in the NFL when they get that communication and experience together. OTAs and training camp, that's going to be time where they build that communication and experience together, and I'm excited to see that. So once again, not expecting you guys to agree fully, wholeheartedly with my top 5, so let me know down in the comments what your top 5 players are to watch now that mandatory OTAs are here. They've arrived. I mean, we're getting close. We are getting close. Mandatory OTAs, training camp, preseason, and we're there. It's time for the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm going to continue to be excited, continue to ramp up the content headed into the season for the Buccaneers. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment that top 5. I think that's it. My voice did not crack as much as I thought. Still a little raspy, but I think we're good. Escaped here, safe. So, go Bucs. Y'all have a blessed one.
Hey, hey, Tampa Bay.